All right, goal of the season. Maybe the most important thing that we'll be deciding here. Let's go over these suggestions that have been left by y'all in the chat. What do we got? So JD, top 6 forwards average 25 points or higher. Reward is that one of the top 6 gets an X Factor. The punishment is that the AI control all the draft picks. That's an interesting one. Cody suggested new owner, Godfather Lou, has decided to put his money where his mouth is when it comes to no facial hair policy. Objective, have a player with facial hair put up 60. Okay, we're skipping that one. Have Ryan O'Reilly score 60 or more points this season. The reward is that a random forward gets an X Factor for team chemistry or some bullshit like that. Punishment, you must overpay Ryan O'Reilly to an extension whereby a no-trade clause is in place. That's an interesting one. I mean, obviously, O'Reilly still has a year left on his deal. I don't know. Is JD's more interesting? That's a decent one. That is a decent one. But 60 points for Ryan O'Reilly, I don't think is possible. I don't. I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Has he gotten anywhere close to that? No. No, he had. Well, no. No, he hasn't. He had 12 points last year in 36 games, so we're going to veto that one. Top 4 finish in the Central Division, or you sign an under 80 overall player to a 6x6 contract with a no movement clause, minimum age being 30. If we succeed, a random player gets an X Factor. That one from AJ with a shitload of thumbs ups on it. I think the AJ one wins. I think it does. We'll go over the other ones here. Bray Ray win Rookie of the Year. If achieved, player gets an X Factor. If lose, we lose a random pick. Ooh, so who would be up for Rookie of the Year? I think it would be Macklin. Macklin would be... It would pretty much just be Macklin or Joakim Kamel. So that is what it would be down to for Bray Ray. Is it would be Macklin wins Rookie of the Year. If he gets it, he gets an X Factor. If he loses it, we lose a draft pick. Not inherently bad either. I don't hate that one either. We got a couple of good ones here. We do have a couple of good ones. PK percentage must be 80% by the deadline. Otherwise, need to trade for the top shot blocking defenseman. I don't mind that one either. I don't mind that one either. I do think we are likely to go for AJ's based on the support, but maybe we'll put it to a wheel spin. There's some good ones. There are some good ones. So again, it was JD's. Top 6 forwards all average at least 25 points or higher. Honestly, I think that's bound to happen. I think that goal is a bit too low. Had it been last season's team when they were bad? So it comes down. There was AJ's, which was, I know he's really wanting this one, the Louis Eriksson Challenge. Top 4 finish in our division, or we sign a Louis Eriksson contract. Oh, Bray, win Rookie of the Year. If achieved, player gets an X Factor. So basically, that would be a challenge based around Macklin. So we have one based around the PK percentage, one based around Macklin, or one based around the team in general. I got to be honest, Risk It. I do like yours. But I think, unfortunately, you dropped it at a time where there are some other good ones. Either Macklin gets Rookie of the Year, gets an X Factor. He already has several. I gotta be honest, I think we're going with AJ's. I think we are. I think we are. I think we're doing it. Finish top 4 in the division. If successful, we gain an X Factor. If we fail, we have to sign a Louis Eriksson contract. That is the goal for the season. We'll double check the AHL really quickly and go best lines because of the coaching change. Just to try to help them out a little bit. For the most part, it should be good. Oh boy. Yikes. Is there any way? There we go. That's a way out of it. So, yeah, it's either we get a Louis Eriksson contract or we get another random X Factor, which could be pretty good. AHL teams looking very, very strong. NHL teams looked as good as it's looked since we started this. Let's be honest. I don't think this team has looked this strong since we took over. AJ said this team... In fairness, it's top 4 in the division. We did not finish last in our division last season, so I think for that reason, we could do it. I mean, 77 offense, 79 defense, 89 goaltending, though. I think we can do it. We have not made the playoffs, no. Do we care enough to look around the league at this point? I think we're far enough into the future that... I mean, there were some free agents like Stamkos out there. Do people care enough to have to look at the lines, or do we just think, we'll see in the future kind of what it looks like, especially towards like playoffs or if a team wins the cup? I think the latter is probably okay. I think it is. I think we can get right down to business. And yeah, it's already erased the trades. But again, oh man, no Phil Tomasino. It's a new era. Let's do this. Let's go. And the funny thing is, we're just going to be running, I think, pretty much with Saros for a while. Nah, maybe we'll pay more attention to the goaltending. I think we can go slow and steady here. 2 goals for Roman Josi in the season opener. And a shutout in the shootout against Chicago. 5-2 loss. And there we go. 2-1-1. We are going to put up the prediction of do we accomplish our goal for the season. Again, top 4 finish in the division. Will we finish top 4 in the division? That's all it comes down to, is just top 4 in the division, not the conference. Don't have to be the 4 seed, but I am willing to let chat throw some channel points into the mix. Who's messed with us the most so far? Probably Sergachev, forcing us to waste that 8th overall pick. Although Crash cost us Phil Tomasino. So it might be one Crash Andrews. Look at Luke Evangelista so far this season. Luke Evangelista. You know, one thing we didn't do, actually, and it's a minor thing, I did not go through and set captaincy. It gave the letters to Gostis Bear and LaRue. I don't hate the idea of LaRue having a letter, but I doubt I would have given it to him. I'd probably give a letter back to Ryan O'Reilly. LaRue is a leader on the team, though. Maybe LaRue stays. I think LaRue stays with a letter. And that way, if people want to do the Wheeler, you're risking Zach LaRue, who implemented... In fairness, you know, the Nihao on Philip Forsberg wasn't great either. We're going to take that letter away from... Actually, no, we'll keep Gostis Bear with the letter. We're going to keep them the way that they are. So yeah, if someone uses the Wheeler now, you're risking Zach LaRue. And he has been a big fan favorite. You guys elected him as stud of the season not all that long ago, as we are off to a 6-2-1 start. Milwaukee at 7-1-1. Not bad at all. Not bad. The guy who fought a fan in junior is a leader on this team. Sweet culture. That's hockey culture, baby. It's all about winning. Nothing else matters. It's all about winning. Man, so we turned frickin' that defenseman into Callum Ritchie. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. We'll see what happens. A lot of people have put in their points already. We're going to keep it going. Another game against the New York Rangers. Another win. Doing very, very well right now. Apparently it's going to be a good year. Draft class, we lose Graham Sword, a neck strain in the AHL. We got crushed by Edmonton. And lose a tough one to the Ducks as well. Paulie, what's up? And there is the warning. Oof, another strong loss. Edmonton kicked the shit out of us. There is the warning about Askarov. He's got to go. The X Factor went to Maselli, but it was a face-off X Factor. So here we go. We know Askarov has to go. It's still just... oh, my God. We have no choice, pretty much. It's a 2026 third rounder. 2, 3, 4. That would be 5, 6, and 7. So technically, if I add this fifth from the Jets, Askarov and a fifth to bring Alex Killorn back to Nashville, along with a third round pick. I got no choice. Askarov has to go. Alex Killorn is back, and this trade did go through. Killorn is back, which might mean Oskar Olausson, who has done okay, is out. Either that or Fedor Svechkov. It does start Killorn in the minors, but yeah, he's a third line guy. He's a third line guy. It's got to be Olausson or Svechkov. The problem is we have a shortage of centers. And there is the Binnington, which basically means someone's just going to be a healthy scratch instead of getting sent down. Which is fine. I mean, Olausson would have had to go through waivers. It probably would have been Svechkov. So, I mean, Oskar Olausson is allowed to be a scratch. And he will be, because we're going to call up Alex Killorn. So that does hurt the depth a little bit in terms of Olausson developing. But again, based on available centers, if we were to take out Svechkov, it could put Macklin at center. It's either Svechkov or Olausson who gets scratched because of that Binnington. I think it's got to be Svechkov, unfortunately. I mean, he is younger, but I don't know. That's a tough one. We would have been able to send down Svechkov, too, but now we can't, because he would have been the guy. So do we want to run Macklin at center? That is the question. Just realized, by the way, I can turn Spotify back on. Fucking hell. I think we got to shake up the centers. I think we do. Right. So the best way to do this oh, God. All right. There's an easy way to do this. I am going to send down Svechkov for the moment, but then he's going to come back up. And that way I don't have to fix up power play lines and shit like that. So right side is Evangelista. Olausson. That fourth line stays the same. This bumps Ryan O'Reilly down. Killorn can technically be on the third line. That would be a very defensively responsible third line. Kyle Palmieri would have to stay on the left. I mean, Palmieri, Macklin, Evangelista, Maselli, Pinto, Olausson. That's not bad. That does still give us pretty decent depth. It does. And again, we got to call Svechkov back up. All right. It's not bad. And defensively, we're still good. AHL, still good. Let's keep it going. Proposing to my girlfriend this summer. Fiance's 24 ring looks sick. Did I go to a chain or a local place? I forgot. I think I got it. I don't remember where the hell I got it. It was Jared. It was one of those. Do wingers even take faceoffs in the sim? Not very often, if at all. We can double check so far, just see what it's been this season. Yeah, I can only speak for me. You get brownie points for doing the shopping yourself, at least from friends. So get something that doesn't necessarily have to be the wedding ring the entire time. Evangelista's taking face-offs. He's taken 17 of them. Palmieri's taken 11. So yeah, I do take face-offs even if they're on the wing. Even though you can't get kicked out of the face-off in the game, in the sim, you technically can. So that's fun. So Alex Killorn is back, as is Ryan O'Reilly. What a very, very weird season. Get Sword back in there. 2K indeed does have face-off kicking, and it's beautiful. 5-1 loss to Boston. 3-2 loss, but in a shootout. So we are going to end November in 5th. 2 points back of the Coyotes, but 4 games at hand. So far, we're on a pretty good pace to accomplish our goal for the season. Kyle Palmieri, 15 points. I mean, he's certainly not worth the amount of money we had to sign him for, but Macklin, not quite ready for prime time as a top-line center. Evangelista's done well. Just 6 points for Maselli. He is prime deadline trade bait. Pinto's still looking good. Oldison's looked okay. LaRue is 7 goals, no assists. Killorn and O'Reilly have done nothing. We're going to bump Maselli down to go with O'Reilly and Killorn. Forsberg, I believe, signed in Anaheim. We're going to go Palmieri, Pinto, Evangelista, LaRue, Celebrini, Olison. We're going to keep mixing and matching the preferred lines. Saros has played every game, but again, there's no real reason to alternate. Like, typically I do alternate for back-to-backs and shit like that, but I mean, if a goalie's getting it done, there's no reason to alternate at all. Just for the sole fact that there's no such thing as goalie fatigue or endurance. I mean, it would just be if Saros is really starting to shit the bed, which we have only won 3 of our last 10 games. Oh my god. Marcel gets hurt in Milwaukee. And right as I say that, we start losing a lot. Apparently we need a veteran presence on the team. According to our coach, we will do the pick a number between 1 and 3. Lands on 3, so I will try to persuade. Hey, sweet, sweet persuasion. Thank you, Stefan DeVoe. How is Saros looking now, honestly? Still in the 918. I mean, again, I feel bad for Hugo, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, it makes more sense to just play Saros if there was goalie fatigue. We didn't make a rule about having to swap goalies on back-to-backs. Maybe we should have. That is typically how I play it. But Hugo isn't going to be an elite goalie, so we might as well just run our elite goalie. Unfortunately, we have slipped a bit. How are we going to be looking on January 1st? Apparently Saros got injured. That would really hurt. We lose to Seattle. So as of January 1st, we are right where we want to be by 1 point over the Blues in 4th. That would be enough to accomplish the goal for the season. And as it stands, that would actually be enough to make the playoffs. Not holding my breath on that. Let's take a look. Saros is still crushing it. Hugo got a game in relief and sucked. Good to know. Roman Josi has been insane. Lassie's been good next to him. Lore and Ghost Bear have been okay together. Struble and Skinner are abysmal together. Abysmal. So that'll spell the end of Hunter Skinner. We'll put him through waivers because he can go down. And we will try Wow, Lashunov actually got better, too. We're going to try Luke Prokop. Let's give Luke a chance here. Otherwise, it's Lozon. Otherwise, we're going to have to go out and get a better right defenseman. But we are going to give Luke Prokop the opportunity to succeed. And 6'6" man mountain. We get Kulanumi into the lineup there. When it comes to the forwards, the fourth line hasn't done much, but none of them can be scratched. Killorn, a little bit better than he was in New York. Or was that the opposite? Oh, yeah, I read that right. O'Reilly hasn't been great. Maselli hasn't been great either. 12 points for Olesen. Macklin, not quite ready for prime time. Yeah, remember when a suggested goal was 60 points for Ryan O'Reilly? We do have a scoring issue. There's no doubt about that. We have a scoring issue. Which has consistently been the theme here. I don't think we're going to change anything about the forwards. But it did make sense to change up the defense. Good to see you again, Millsy. We're doing good. I mean, who said 60 can't happen for Ryan O'Reilly? All right, there we go. No one to worry about there. Defensively, that works for me. And Korhonen has now been deemed good enough to be the starter over Gage Alexander in terms of top-rated goalie. So we will allow it. Let's keep it going. Why not? Shootout loss to the Blues. And Alex Killorn is going to be out into the middle of March with concussion issues. Shit. That's a tough injury. That is a tough injury right there. That'll force Macklin back to the wing. Svechkov at center. And that way Kyle Palmieri can play on the right side again. That's a tough one. I think we're going to try that out for Lions, although LaRue should probably be over Maselli. I think that's what we're going for. But yeah, Alex Killorn, big time injury. Mobsky, what's going on? And we lost both of those games to the Blues. That was a big point swing for them. We do shut out Vegas, crush Minnesota. And we got to finish at least fourth in the division, or we're about to have a very bad time. Very bad time indeed. Holy back-to-backs. Jesus, a home and away with Dallas. Schedule maker has not been too kind to us. We lose to Dallas both times. Anton Olsen gets hurt in Milwaukee. This is, oh God, we get crushed by Winnipeg. We're a really streaky team right now. Sorrow's still at a 9-14. Prokop's actually been okay. Struble has not. Struble hasn't been great. Only way to move on from him and not have him in the lineup is to trade him, so we at least got to try. But he's not cutting it. Third round pick next year, which is great. Multiple teams offering a third round pick next year. And I'm going to take that fast before someone can fuck with it. We'll take that deal with Arizona and move Jaden Struble out. He just was not cutting it on this team. I don't care if people are pissed. That would have meant Anton Olsen was getting the call up. He is currently hurt. So it might be Gulyayev. Either that or Lozon. But I think it's going to be the youngster Gulyayev who gets this opportunity. Okay, doesn't have negative chemistry with Prokop by default. Best lines there in the AHL. Honestly, let's try Gostisbehere and Yossi together. Fourth line doesn't appear to be doing amazing. Ryan O'Reilly has just not been able to get it done this season. And Pinto pretty much has to be the top center. We're going to bump up Afanasayev again. He had done well on that third line. The other option is to flip Svechkov. Macklin's not quite ready for the top line. LaRue is a bit of a problem because of the penalties that he takes. We'll try LaRue on the third line. Otherwise, it's first line. Problem is, I don't know if there's going to be a great combination for this team. It just almost feels like it is what it is. Max Comtois on waivers, depth forward. I'll say no to that. We can get a player like that at any time. In what might have been his NHL debut, Gulyayev broke his leg in his NHL debut. That's fucking harsh, man. Wow. Well, it's Graham Sword or Lozon. Congratulations to Graham Sword, former Spokane Chief, who will get his opportunity as the WHL will be well represented on the third pair. And we're going to have a forward playing defense now in the AHL as we do beat Vegas in that game. So we're going to have to go out and sign somebody to help out the AHL a little bit. And there's really no prospects, unfortunately. Decent song. Don't want it the more. Yeah, I'll keep it. Why not? Okay. What do we want to go with here? We'll go Jake Bean as a dual position. It'll be helpful for us. Yeah, he took a break a leg literally. Fortunately. We lose to Vancouver. Jake Bean does sign. In the AHL, let's go best lines. Paulie, it's been a bit. Thank you, though, for the 38 months. How have you been? I hope you've been well. Been good. All right. Oh, man, we keep losing games here and there. Kyle Palmieri, I'm sorry for how I'm playing out there. Yeah, me too, Kyle. Me too. Let's see. We rolled a 2. Good living life, eh? Fair play. You're welcome, Kyle, for the vote of confidence. Now, please, for the love of God, do something out there. For the love of God. 2 points behind the Blues, who have a game at hand. Anton Olsen is healthy in the AHL. Final game of January, and we win. So at the end of January, we're 2 points up on the Blues, but they have 2 games at hand. But here we are, currently in the spot we need to be in to accomplish our goal. We are running UC Saros into the ground, but he has played very, very well. A little bit worried about that second pair. Third pair has been serviceable. Palmieri has 28 points for $9 million. Looks like that third line's been playing better. That fourth line Hasn't been very good. We're going to leave it as is for now. Yeah, no Kaloran, no Gulyayev. It's pretty rough. Let's keep it going. Concussion for Oscar back. He'll be out for a month down in Milwaukee. Get crushed by Montreal. Get shut out by Dallas. Four points back of the Blues now. 51 games played each. I think we might have to look at a trade here. I don't know if we can afford to wait until the deadline. Don't know if we can. O'Reilly has been a little bit better lately. Maselli, we got to take advantage of his trade value. Like, he's going. It's just, can we get anything good for him? Danforth in a second. Charlie Coyle. Honestly, it would be worth pairing him with a draft pick because we're going to have to move. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It'd be worth pairing him with a second. Essel Lindell, really? What about a third? So a swap for Charlie Coyle. Be a second-round pick next year. It's the last year of Coyle's deal. That might certainly be the upgrade on left wing that we could use. I wouldn't get a draft pick back in the deal, but upgrading to get Brad Marchand. The Oilers are offering picks and prospects. Do we have a natural left wing that can step in? No, we don't. It'd be like Rem Pitlick. The fact, that the Bruins are looking to move Brad Marchand. Yeah, Maselli is never going to be the like elite player we need him to be. If we also use O'Neill in this, nothing. It's a bit too much. Can we move Kondoleek? No. Willis has gotten a lot better this season. What about Hunter Skinner, who we know we're not going to use anymore? Boston's not interested. It does make a lot of sense to get a left wing back. Fortunately, Zaitsev's not very good now. Use Cody Glass. Looks like that pick would be necessary. We'd be down a draft pick. We got to go for it this year because of the goal. We're going to take this trade. I mean, again, the fact we got Maselli in the deal, we know he's not going to be a long-term fit here, sucks, but Maselli in a third for Brad Marchand. Done deal. Done deal. Brad stays in a shade of gold. He is a second-line player at this rate, but that is the type of upgrade that we needed on the wing. No doubt about it. And yeah, needless to say now, this team gets a little bit more grit, gets a little bit more attitude about themselves. It's an interesting trade, to say the least. I'm going to get Joachim Kamel back in there. It's weird to put Jasper Weatherby in. Honestly. I think we go with the Marchand, LaRue, and then take some pressure off of Mac. I'm hoping that top line can do some damage. I mean, again, it sucks right now. We're down to 6 draft picks instead of 7. But to get the upgrade, You have Brad Marchand here. What will he be able to do for this team? Can he help push us to another level? That is the question. I didn't think we'd find a trade like that, but we made the most of Maselli's extra trade value from the X Factor. Had he gotten a better X Factor, it would have been worth keeping him long term, but at that point, it really wasn't. Can I get rid of Hunter Skinner for anything? Another draft pick for this year would be great. 5th rounder, 4th rounder. I mean, yeah, getting a 4th round pick this year would be pretty good. I think I'd have too many in the 4th round and would have to make a deal. Let me just check with Seattle. Worst case, I could even take a 5th. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, we already have 2 4ths. So for the sake of not having to have pressure... Wow, the Shunoff's a medium elite. I know Maselli didn't stick around, but the fact that we got this guy back in that Tomasino trade isn't bad at all. Even if it's a 5th rounder this year. Yeah, there we go. Buffalo. Let's just take that. That way we don't have any pressure for a specific trade later on. Yeah, Hunter Skinner was never going to get the call-up again. We get a draft pick back. It's beautiful. So Brad Marchand is now on this team. Is that enough to close the gap with St. Louis?